Hey, I'm Chase with Priority Bicycles. I have a lineup of gloves here to help you ride through the winter as it gets colder. Now, the main things I look for when buying a pair of gloves for cycling is going to be three key things. Number one, obviously, how warm do they keep me? That's the most important part to get you through the winter. Number two is going to be mobility. How flexible are the gloves? If I need to use brakes and shifters to operate my bike, I want to be able to make sure that my fingers can move. And obviously, number three would be durability. How long do they last? Am I just going to get a year out of these gloves, or am I going to get 5 to 10 years? I've got a lineup of gloves here. They're all going to be at different price points and different temperature thresholds. You don't have to get the most expensive gloves, and you don't have to get the least expensive gloves, but here's my rhyme and reason why, so let's get into it. So the first pair of gloves I have here are going to be for the 50 to 60 degree temperature range. These are a lightweight glove that have a ton of mobility and a decent amount of padding as well. The reason I like these is they're just going to have the most amount of padding and thermal protection for the most mobility. Now, these are a premium cycling glove from ASOS. They will usually range from about $60 to $80. You do not have to spend this much money. I like it for the mobility. You can go with something like a pharmacy glove, like a cotton glove, to keep you warm in that 50 to 60 Fahrenheit range. So the next pair of gloves I have are going to be from Milwaukee, and I know this seems really strange. Why do I have workshop gloves in a cycling glove video? So these gloves will get me down to about, let's say, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the reason I like these so much is they obviously keep you really warm. There's an incredible amount of flexibility here. You're supposed to be using these with tools, so you have to be able to move your fingers. They work great when using your brakes and shifters. The other thing is they're unbelievably durable. They're supposed to last forever, and they do. The next best thing, and probably the most important, is the fact that you can go to any hardware store to get a glove just like this. You can usually find these for $10 to $20, and if it's getting cold unexpectedly, you can just buy them in a pinch, and they keep you super warm. This third pair of gloves is going to be from Handup. They are going to be a traditional mountain bike fall winter cycling glove. They're going to get you to about the 40 degree threshold, maybe into the high 30s. Now, these have a ton of flexibility. They have a ton of padding, especially for mountain biking, but you can get these for around $50 from most bike shops. And I'm a huge fan of these gloves. They have cool words on them so that everyone knows you're a super cool cyclist. Now, the fourth pair of gloves are going to start to get into the really heavy padded gloves. So these are going to be from Pearl Izumi. You can get these for around $50 to $60 depending on where you're at in a bike shop. These are great because you do get a decent amount of mobility. Obviously, the more padding, the less mobility. Now, the one really nice thing about bike specific gloves is they do have a certain level of durability. So these gloves will last you several seasons of riding in the cold. And again, will get you to about that 40 degree to the 30 degree threshold. Now, for the super cold, and we're talking down to about 15 degrees, is usually what I can get these down to. We'd be looking at a Bontrager, what this is called the Old Man Winter style. You can go with any brand on these as far as cycling goes. This is going to be incredibly padded. They will have like a plastic lining inside of the gloves to keep you extra warm. You do again start to lose a little bit of mobility here. These will go from about $80 to $100, but you can also go to any sports store, get a ski glove, get just heavy duty winter gloves from anyone, but I do like these. You can also find stuff like the lobster gloves or mittens. I'm personally not a fan, but they do work for a lot of people. I think having all of my fingers available to use really helps with shifting and braking and stuff like that. Now, if you're extra brave and you want to go even colder, a nice little hack is to use shop gloves, like the rubber shop gloves or deli gloves. You put these on underneath the gloves, and that will keep you extra warm. It's really great at insulating. The one thing to keep in mind, wash your hands as soon as you're done riding because it will be incredibly gross, but you will be incredibly warm. Now, every single one of these gloves is gonna work for me personally at certain temperatures. For example, these are the 60 degree gloves, these are the 15 degree gloves. That may vary for you. There is no right or wrong answer here. You can go with the cycling specific gloves. You can go with the hardware gloves. You can go with your regular gloves from a pharmacy or from just a regular clothing store. The things, again, you want to keep in mind is how warm, how flexible, and how durable. Now we're going to include links to all of these gloves in the description. These two right here, I've had for multiple seasons, so we will include the updated alternatives. Another good resource would be to reach out to your local bike shop and see what kind of gloves they're wearing during the winter. Thanks for watching and have a good winter.